Hi, team. So there are some things that everybody can do to become a better leader. And, there are, 1,000 different exercises you can do to become a better, a better leader through listening, active listening exercises, through journaling, through, time management practice, etc. But I'm thinking of in a team atmosphere, how can you be identified as a better leader? Uh, Not only people seeing you as a leader, but for you actually functioning as a better leader. Now, like I alluded to, there's a lot of other things that a leader is really, needs to be doing, and you need to be constantly evolving your skill set, your emotional intelligence, and your maturity as a leader, as well as exploring different leadership styles and really identifying where your weaknesses are. It seems like every day I'm finding a weakness. And I'm trying to figure out how to improve those is the challenge. But as you go along, you'll find that there are some tactics, especially when you're brought into a new team or a new company, that really are good tactics in order to be recognized as a great leader. First, identify other leaders and look at what they're doing. Look at what their leadership styles are. Not saying that you need to copy them. You definitely need to be yourself, but learn what leadership styles are working well with the team and observe which ones aren't, because there may be other leaders in the company which are in a leadership position or leading a team, but it's just not working. The team doesn't have any trust, team's not accountable, team's not performing, etc. And then identify which teams are doing well and what the leadership is like there. So some teams will perform well in a box even without a leader. They pretty much know what they're doing, they have a system down, etc. But somebody had to form that and put that in place. So it came from somewhere. Now when you're leading a group that you are not used to leading, you have to really kind of demonstrate that you are a leader. And some of that you get just from being a leader. Like you walk into a room and you are a leader. Sometimes that's not the role you're given. You are new to a team. Now, every time you come into a new team, it's going to go through that process of team formation. And that's really the same anytime a team member changes. If a team member changes, you swap a team member, you get a new team member, etc. In the mid 60s, Bruce Tuckman came up with this kind of framework for team formation and the stages of development of a team. That's forming, storming, norming, and performing. So that's forming, storming, norming, and performing. And those are pretty typical. If you think about any team that you've ever been in, it always goes through this forming where everybody's kind of respectful of each other. And then, and trying to identify where they are in the team. And then that storming portion is where everybody's kind of testing boundaries and kind of figuring out where they, aspiring to take over leadership or put work on somebody else, etc. So there's usually the personality conflicts are coming through in that phase. So I know that when you come into a team, it's going to go through those phases. So at first, when I say that learn from other leaders, that's that forming. That's you're looking at what the other leaders are doing, what everybody else is doing. You're observing. You're not making waves yet. But then when you step in there, it's going to go into that storming mode. There's existing leadership, there's existing egos. You may not agree with people. You may agree with people. So I'm not saying rock the boat. I'm not saying force yourself to agree. I'm saying be yourself but understand the personalities that you're working with and the opinions that you're working with. Don't try to assert yourself if you don't really have a strong position there. In a lot of ways, there's deciding what hill you want to die on. The team already may respect this other leader or his ideas or her ideas. And then you come in and shake it up and you're really just creating mutiny and nobody likes you. So, a leader is not a leader without followers. So you may be an alpha, you may be a natural leader, you may tend to go into a group and you gain followers already. That's the way I really am. But it's important to take that time to learn from other leaders. Then build your skills. So identify really what the team needs for leadership and where you're falling short there. And, with any team that may be true, it's really egotistical and really, wrong of you to think that you have no faults and there's nothing you need to improve and that you're a perfect leader. Evidently, you need to fall on your face a few hundred more times and to realize that you know nothing, Jon Snow. So it's important for you to actually observe what the team needs, where you are, be honest with yourself, figure out what you need to improve to be a good leader. And then believe you're a leader. Identifying what those are, you don't have to fix them all first. You don't have to build all those skills first. That could take a lifetime. But identifying what they are, learning what you've learned from the other leaders, observing the team, assume leadership, act like a leader, be a leader. You don't have to be in that role yet, but you will be because it'll be obvious that you're you. So contribute to the team, have an upright posture so it's clear that you're someone who's confident and knows what they're doing. Think about contingency plans, think about the tasks, think about prioritization, think about what's most important to the objectives of the team and to the business. Think about some upper level things as well as the tactical. And when you're thinking about this and being responsible for the team, and not passing blame, but being accountable and responsible, and just assuming that when you're working that racy matrix and you are the responsible and accountable person, it's clear that you're the team leader. If everything is ending up falling on somebody else, then it's clear that they're the team leader. So as a leader, you should be picking that stuff up. Now, next, take up tasks. So figure out what tasks need to be done and get them done. Some of them are you doing them at first. Some of them are delegation. But when you're first coming in to a team, the biggest thing you can do to gain respect is to minimize the pain, is to support everybody in what they're doing. I'm not saying you need to be the one doing every little thing, but even if it's emptying the waste baskets while the rest of your team is developing great applications, you need to be in a supporting role for them. And some of that, if you're not already in that by default, some of that is taking up extra tasks, is basically proving yourself. And then next, and this is incredibly important, is sharing your ideas. I'm not saying you need to come up with some bullshit when there is no reason to share ideas. Like, you need to actually share valid content, valid and important information. But if you're sharing ideas when there's a problem, even if it's wrong, you're being understood as somebody who has ideas. So be perceptive and adaptive to other people's ideas because they may be better. Share your ideas. Be open about the fact that they might be bad ideas. Adjust. Think about what other people are doing. Listen to other people's points of views and their ideas, because they actually may have great ideas and you may be able to supplement them. And, backing somebody else's idea doesn't make you not a leader. Saying, okay, Jane has an amazing idea. Let's take this idea and run with it. Okay, team. What can we think of as a fail point on here? What do we need to shore up? I see that there's going to be some obstacles or some rough patches in user adoption here. What are, or are we going to have a problem with getting our vendors on board with this, our partners on board, our customers? What is the issue with this plan? So, take Jane and back Jane up, make her your superstar, and be like, Jane has an amazing idea here. How can we support this and run with the team? Where, let's find any weaknesses so we can shore them up, and let's set her up for a victory here. That kind of taking the ball and running with it is leadership. So, but yeah, share your ideas, listen to other people's ideas, work with them. Learn how to be humble at the right times and say, okay, yeah, that's an amazing idea. Mine sucks compared to that. It is great to do that. It is important to be able to say that and be honestly humble and understanding that you aren't the God all the time as a leader. Your job as a leader is for your team to succeed, not for you to succeed. Think about that. Your team as a leader is to support this whole organization, is not for you to look great. So putting ego aside, thinking about what's best for the team, that is going to be obviously a leadership trait. And treating others with respect, that is really crucial. Whenever, and I've been guilty about this a million times, you talk about people, and it may just be an idle conversation, then you realize it and you're feeling guilty about it later. And you're like, okay, I'm the rumor mill. People just may sometimes have a way of just talking to you in a way that they're like sucking that info out of you, or that the back channel combo, and they're like, oh yeah, this person was annoying. What do you think about this? And please stay out of that. Be like, yeah, I don't really know enough to have a great opinion there. Something, but try to stay out of that rumor conversation, because it'll just take you down and it'll make people lose respect for you. And I've done this a lot. I mean, the things that I've ruined in my own, relationships have been a lot of times because of that. Or, me ranting to somebody and somebody else finds out about it. A lot of times people aren't as great at keeping secrets as you'd like, or being discreet as you'd like. And next thing you know, everything gets screenshotted around. That's common nowadays. So treat everybody with respect. Understand that there are a lot of different leaders. There are a lot of different types of leaders. And in a group, I want everybody to be a leader. Extreme ownership is a big principle and for my life and a value for my life. And I want to bring everybody in my team on board with extreme ownership. I expect everybody to lead. If I'm not there, I expect them to lead. I don't expect to have to lead every task. If there's subgroups in the team and they can, there should be other natural leaders in your team or trained leaders in your team that may have a management role or a leadership role even, that who they are. And that's your succession plan, as well as it's healthy for the team. And when the company needs more leaders, they need that group of people to pull from. And so they need you to be creating those leaders and nurturing those leaders as you're going along. Now, one thing that I've said before in other episodes that I'll say again is that being able to summarize and prioritize is important as a leader. And if you're in a meeting with the leaders of a group or the team members of a group, and take notes. You should always be taking notes. You should have a notepad with you everywhere you go. Take notes, reiterate everything, prioritize it, come up with action items, stuff like that. It's part of active listening. It's part of being organized. It's part of management. But it demonstrates that you're the one who has their stuff together where others may not. And it demonstrates that you are organized and you're ready to lead where others may not be. And that kind of behavior alone will kind of elevate you. So that's important as you grow in leadership, to show that you're organized. So if you can tell, a lot of this is really just kind of demonstration. You need to demonstrate you're a leader to your team. regardless of your role, whether you're in a leader role or not, the title is different from actually doing the thing. You can be called a leader all day and not be a leader. Somebody else in the team is leading your team for you. Or you can be leading the team and somebody else be the actual person with the title. Regardless of any of those factors, you need to constantly be building trust and respect within your team, build followership in your team by enabling them to succeed, treating them with respect, being humble, offering great ideas, but not only that, but supporting their great ideas and helping work with them and build with them. Know that there are a lot of different kinds of leaders and there's a lot of different leadership styles, and you should probably be investing some time in discovering what those are and knowing that there are some weak points in your leadership and that you need to shore up and patch up your holes is important, because there are some blatant ones sometimes. Some people, will call themselves a leader, but have done nothing to actually get to know their team, have done nothing to be accountable or responsible, and are blaming people all the time. Whenever I catch myself doing that, it's like I feel ashamed, because that's really the opposite of what I'm trying to be. I understand that nobody's perfect, though, so fixing those things is an ongoing process, but you need to identify what those are in yourself so that you can start fixing them. All right. I appreciate it. And in leadership, there's a lot to learn, and there's a lot of evolution you will be going through. And so feel free to comment, like, subscribe, reach out. Thank you.